The world needs now is love, sweet love. No, not just for some, but for everyone.
What the world needs now is listening. What the world needs now is a very special kind of listening. It's as if we have a secret that shouldn't be a secret. And we know that listening is the vehicle of that connectedness. Not only listening with our ears and our concepts, which is very important, but listening with our whole bodies, listening with our spirits, listening with our guts, makes the difference between trauma and healing. It makes the difference between hopelessness and hope. It makes the difference between alienation and connectedness. It makes the difference between demoralization and the sense of connectedness and being with ourselves and with each other. It broadens our world, it settles us, it reminds us that we're one big system. It illuminates us when you're listening to someone, deeply listening to someone who triggers you, and you're listening in that way that we're going to unfold. It's like, wow, oh, I never knew that it could be like that. I never knew that world, because you're entering into, when you're listening that way, you're entering into another person's experiential world. I think that sometimes we get confused and we think that this radical, embodied, compassionate, deep stream, underneath listening is agreeing or going along with, not standing up for what's true, what we think is true, sort of knuckling under, giving ourselves up. It's like listening to the other person's side of the us, because whenever we're listening to the us, because there is no I without the us. That other part of the us may seem like way out there, but it's one system, and we're listening to another aspect of one body, that we are all one body. Listening can save the world. Listening can save each one of us. Our own listening to ourselves, the other listening to us, and our listening to the other. Feels to me like it's the hope for a new world, for survival. Listening to the human in the human system is like planting a tree for our natural system. Radical listening, embodied listening, deep listening is not something that we can sustain in ordinary life all the time, although we might want to, and it's part of mindfulness. But this kind of listening is a practice. It's a healing practice. Is we know that we're not listening to a thing. We're not listening to, this is the person's shtick. I don't know if you know shtick, it's Yiddish for it's the thing. We're listening for a process. One of the important parts is the attitude, the intent to understand, to be illuminated, to be changed rather than the intent to change the other person. Of course, that's always there too in the mix. But to be enlightened, to understand. And the other is the intent to connect, that you want to connect with this other aspect of us. You want to connect with this unique, infinitely complex microcosm of the world that this person is. Now, what that takes is giving yourself up. I'm putting nothing between me and that person. Now, my values, my beliefs, my feelings, my intentions, my deep spiritual leanings, my protest, my need to straighten out this world, my convictions, all of those are very, 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 very important. And Jean says, well, I'm putting them right next to me. I can always reach for them again. They're not going away. But I'm not putting them between me and the other person. We cannot expect to change the other. Idea that being triggered isn't the enemy, and that you're going to attend to it. It's like paying attention to it, that trigger. It's like a little alarm.
Yeah.
Instead of your whole system getting dysregulated, you can say, oh, I'm going to go back to that. Let me put that there and really go back to that. That's important. It's such a strange, mysterious thing that when you listen to anybody, they become beautiful.
What the world needs